All right, everybody. Hey, it's Crew. And today we're going to try to introduce. So, for some of you who like to play Total War games, we're on Total War Warhammer 3. And we're going to try to introduce some folks to battle. All right. I know for me, battle was difficult to get used to in the very beginning. Not knowing what troops, how to move troops, how to position them. So it could be a little intimidating. But I'm an older guy. My reflexes aren't as fast as they used to be. But I want you to see that you can actually do this. And it's okay if you don't play legendary difficulty. You have a lot of different difficulties you can set up for the campaign and for the battles themselves. Magic can also be a tough thing for this game, but what we're going to do is we're going to walk through some basic stuff for people to learn how to maneuver your troops. I don't suggest that I am better than anybody out there, because I'm not. There are people who play this game that are 10 times better than I am. But the goal here is to help people to enjoy the game for what the game has to offer and not be too intimidated by the battle itself. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into, and I recommend you go into skirmish versus AI. So this is basically, where are we going to do? Clear, hold on. This is for you to be able to set up things the way you want to set them up. Okay, so for example, we're going to play as, let's take a simple faction. We'll take the dwarves. Okay, and I usually set the funds low, but in this one, we're just going to do our own setup. Okay, we're not going to worry about what the funds are or anything like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take basic troops. So we're going to take frontline troops. Okay, so early in the game, you'll get dwarf warriors. Okay, and then we're going to set up the AI. Let's go to, where are the green skins? You'll come across the green skins a lot in a dwarf campaign. Okay, and their basic infantry unit is going to be the goblin spears. Okay, so the only difficult part when you're doing these custom battles is the lords. Because if you don't, if you don't get to the lord, he can really mess up your front line. But I just want you to see basic setup and structure and movement first. So first thing you're going to have here is your deployment stage. Okay, so I usually select, move them out of the way. And then through the unit cards here, you can choose individual unit cards. Okay. So you left click on the card and then right click where you would want to position it. And you can do that for every unit. Right click, right click, right click. You can move them anywhere you want on the battlefield. Now, let's say you don't want to mess with the unit cards. You want to select on the field. So left click, hold, and drag, and it'll select whatever you have inside that white screen, or that white outlined area. Okay, so now once you've selected them, you can then right click and hold, and you can then drag out how you want them to be situated. A very thin line, left click or right click, hold, and then drag them into a fighter formation. Okay, once again, select them, right click, hold, and then you'll see the marker. Now this marker is kind of tough to see on this land because of the color, but actually if I tilt a little higher up, you might be able to see it a little bit better. So we're going to left click, hold, or right click, hold, and drag out. Okay, then we're going to take our general and we'll put our general right here. Okay, so let's say we have everybody set up the way we want them. Okay, the next thing you want to do is take a look at any specials that they may have. Sometimes you'll have other icons here where you'll have a shield wall. In Total War, like Rome 2, I don't know if they have it here in Warhammer 3, but you would have like a tortoise where they would put all their shields up in the air, right? So you want to look for any specials that they may have. Now this group here, they don't have any specials, okay? Now what we also want to do is we want to make sure we select all of the dwarf warriors, and you see guard mode. Units ordered into guard mode will hold their position and will not pursue disengaged targets. So that's something to be careful about, because what'll happen is if you don't have that checked, when they get into a fight, and let's say that unit you weakened and they start to leave the battle, this unit is going to follow them. Now, in some situations, you want that to happen, especially when it's like archers and stuff like that. You kind of want to chase them away from being able to rain arrows down or pistols on your troops. In this situation, we don't want to do that, okay? So we're going to put guard mode on, right? So that they don't pursue. Same thing with our general, okay? So now that we have them positioned where we want, we have guard mode turned on. We're going to select all our troops. And then I'm going to group them together. So I'm going to hold Control and hit G. Now you see right here, it puts the number 1 and it has this group locked. If you click this, it unlocks it. Click it again, it locks it. Now, what that means is I can now maneuver this whole group as one entity. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you what that's going to help when we start off here. So let's start the battle. So right now, I have them group 1 selected. I'm going to hold Alt and right stick. Oh, sorry. Not right stick. My apologies. Alt Control, or Alt left click, and you see here I can maneuver these guys anywhere I want right now. So we're going to move them up to this position. Okay, let's fast forward just to get them there a little quicker. Now once I'm in the battle, typically I don't use the grouping mechanism. Okay, so for right now, we're going to take a look at where their leader is. They're in a standard formation. So right now I'm going to select my troops and I'm going to spread them out a little bit wider than the enemy troop. Okay? Because I want to be able to hold the flanks. And in battle, when your line is wider than their line, typically your outside units will start to curl around the outside edges to form like a little bit of a half circle, and that's advantageous. Okay, now depending on who's coming at you, if this were a high charge unit, okay, then I would want to get in a tighter formation to be able to take their charge. Okay, but this is just about setting up basic battle. Okay, so now they're going to come into play. And now our battle is going to commence. And then we're going to work toward their general. And our leader's going to fight through and meet up with their orc war boss. Now, if you put your cursor over the unit card, it'll show you what's going on. So you see our unit, Dwarf Warriors. See our leadership on the left-hand side is down to 56. They're taking They're taking damage, so their leadership now is dropping. Okay. If you look at the enemy, confident, units losing, they're winded, they have poor leadership, so they're an easier unit to break. You can see their melee attack is in the red, their speed is in the red, and their leadership is in the red. If you look at ours, so both of us are causing each other's leadership and melee to drop a little. Now our leadership is much higher than theirs, so that should be helpful. Now, you see WOG, base weapon damage plus 2.5%, armor pierce plus 25%, melee attack. So their leader has introduced WOG. So we're going to put defense up on our guy. Okay, we're going to give him some extra strength. Now you can see we're down to 83 units out of 120. Our leadership is good on this unit, but they are speed, their melee attack is less. Everything is in the red on these goblin spears. This unit here, they're confident. They have a lot of red. There we go. We just bumped up in our leadership, so they're going to stand in the fight longer. Our leadership is still 64. Our melee attack is down, but our armor is good. The goblin spears there. Everything is reducing on them. Okay. So these are two very well evenly matched units. There's WOG again. Okay. So their leader is able to drop these spells on us to try and help their cause. Now this isn't about winning or losing. I want to get you guys with the thought of basic controls. Looks like our leader... Nope. Okay, so their lines are breaking. There we go. So now their line's broken. They're exhausted. Broken. Exhausted. Broken and exhausted. So now we could pursue these guys if we wanted, but what we're going to do is we're going to get them. We're just going to regroup them back here. Tight formation. We're going to regroup these guys here. Tight formation. And we're just going to let these units fight it out. Okay, now, see their units regrouped. So we're going to bring our units back up. We're going to go into a tighter formation. This way they can withstand any charge that comes in. We'll put them in a tight formation. Now you can see that they're confident. They're very tired. This unit hasn't come in, but this unit is. They came in, but because of the tight formation, they barely did anything to this unit. Okay, this group here. Oh. They just missed, but we were able to turn and get back on them. Yeah, they're on our leader. Now this unit here looks like they may try to come in. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this unit up here, tight formation, just in case. Now it looks like they're going to go. Now their leader, what we're going to do is once these units here all disappear, because I think they're going to be... I don't think they're going to come back. So we're going to get this unit here, put them in a tight formation. We're going to choose our leader. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send a charge in on their leader. Then we'll send another charge with these other dwarf warriors on their lead. And there we go. Okay, so that was very simple, basic hit end battle. Very simple, basic 3-on-3 fairly evenly matched. Our armor and leadership obviously is gonna hold better on there, right? So let's take a look at these guys here, and they're a 450 cost, right? So we're going to take care of these here, and we're going to put Orc Boys spears. They have higher leadership, and their cost is very similar. Well, it's exactly the same as our cost. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see how these guys fare up against these orcs with spears. So left click, drag, control G. We're going to group everybody in. Okay. Now they're going to come at us. And let's see, they have a charge bonus of 12. So what we're going to try and do, I think, is we're going to try and tighten up formations here, so that we can take the charge a little bit better. Okay? We'll move our boss into this gap here. Get them there. Move these guys over a little bit more.
Nothing can stop us. Move it out.
Oh. That unit decided to go another way. Interesting. Bring our boss this way. Okay.
It is a reckoning.
So now we're going to take advantage of them. Why they went out that way, I have no idea. But we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to try and work the flank here. See if we can get rid of this unit sooner, because then we'll have a numbers advantage. Now, the one problem with this here, our flanks are a little exposed because we had the tight formation.
Dwarf warriors, attack the orcs! We demand blood!
Now, they do have this unit coming back. Leadership's actually a plus. Their leadership is dropping. Our leadership is staying up high. 63, they're at 51. Their melee attack is strong. Melee defense is dropped. Speed's dropped. Alright, so now this unit's going to come in, and that may equalize this a little bit more. We can take a look. Fighting in Warhammer 3 is really, really nice. There's Wog, probably. No. Yes. Let me see. No, they have not hit the Wog yet. The units are so nice looking. The action of the fights is really, really cool. Very well put together, in my opinion. And again, this is... Oh, that's the Wog right there. Yep. Now, again, this is just for basic battle. Okay? Just seeing how units match up against each other. Okay? So what we'll do is we're going to fast forward this. We're going to see how it plays out. Balance of power is still pretty even. Okay, what are we holding? We have 80 units, 86, 75, 40, 46. So we are slowly up, and their leader has been eliminated. Okay, so even with both armies being made up of the same type of units, okay, You can see, though, the leadership. Leadership is a big deal. Melee defense, big deal. Okay, we have 40 melee defense. They have 28. Okay, so these are things that you want to try and take a look at, specifically for the unit or the faction that you're going to play. Because frontline is very important. If you're going to play like a basic style of setup, right? It's going to be frontline. You want high leadership, high melee defense, shielded if you can, armor if you can. This unit here is a great unit. Axe infantry, armored and shielded. You see up in this corner here. It says armored and shielded, charge defense against large foes. So, a large foe, green skin, monsters and beasts. Okay? This is considered a large foe. Okay, if he were to come in, we have a charge defense bonus against him. I believe chariots might be considered large as well. I don't know. Does it tell us large anywhere? I don't think so. But so having that as your front line defense is going to be very beneficial because you'll be able to take a charge. They have a good defense. They're going to be able to withstand punishment, and they have high leadership, right? And then they're armored. So this unit here, very, very good unit, okay? So these are the types of things that when you're playing, you want to think about in your army composition so that when you're in battle, or when you're in campaign, when you're in campaign, you'll be able to better figure out what units that you need to get. Now, early on, right, you're only going to be able to get maybe the miners and your dwarf warriors, and possibly missile infantry, rangers, probably quarrelers. Okay, so you want to think about those things because this front line you're going to need to hold up to be able to use your quarrelers to rain down damage on the opposing faction. Okay, so very important to understand what's going to help. This unit here, high leadership, they're armored, they have armor piercing, they have no shield. Their melee defense is 30. Okay, so you see the difference. 70 leadership's great, melee attack 24, melee attack 22. So these guys are going to hit a little bit harder. They do have armor piercing. So this would be a nice unit to use as your damage dealing type unit because you'll be able to flank units with this group. This is the kind of dwarf warrior that you would want to use to be able to come around the backsides or the flanks of the enemy to be able to cause damage to them. You're going to be able to stay in the fight because you have great leadership. Your melee defense is a little softer, right? That's why you don't really want these. Sorry about that. We have my grandson having his breakfast. Okay, so let me show you what we mean. Let's put. They would normally have a goblin archer unit in the back, right? Let's put 2 units back there. And we're going to have our 1 dwarf warrior's great weapon, okay? Okay, so we're going to start the battle. We're going to bring great weapons back this way. Now this time, we're going to stretch our line out at least as wide as them, if not a little bit further out. Okay. And we're going to try to position this unit to be able to flank that unit. We're going to do everything we can to engage. These groups here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to move them up to engage so that the archer fire doesn't get into them too much. Okay, and we're going to bring this group here. We're going to double click to help them run. Now these groups here are going to try and we're going to use this unit here. They're going to try and get into the side of my unit. So we're going to bring these boys up this way. Now they're going to be able to arc. They're going to be able to arc their shots. Now they're going to be able to maneuver a little bit more than us. They're going to be faster. They're going to take fire here, right? Because this is a slow unit. Okay. Now this isn't what they're necessarily used for, to hunt down archers. Okay. Our goal really is to get into the backs of these other units. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this time. We're going to lose some units. We're going to set them up to get into the back of this group here. We're going to spread them out. Okay, now let's see. They're going to get in and look at the leadership drop. It went from 30 down to 7, down to 8. Right now, their leadership is taking a huge hit, but we're also taking a huge hit because their archers are able to open up into the flanks and the rear. But we're able to break that unit. Okay, so we're going to take this unit, bring this unit back. We're going to take our great weapons. We're going to move them up. And then we're going to crash them into the back of this unit. We're going to take this unit and go into their leader. Try to keep him occupied. Okay, now we're going to take our great weapon unit. We're going to bring that unit out. We're going to bring that unit over this way. And we're going to try and get them to hunt down those archer units. We're going to bring this unit in, fight against their leader. We'll try to surround him. Keep him busy. Now we can use these freed up units to push these units out. Okay, because as long as they're not shooting on anybody over here, we can work with them, right?
begin.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to work over this way toward this unit.
Them.
See how they're holding up. Our leader's back in play. We're going to bring him over.
That'll do.
Now we're going to see sometimes if you send 2 units after the 1 unit, this unit will stand still. Right? But we're just going to keep those units, pushing them out. Because really the goal here is going to be to take out the leader now.
Cover your axes
Okay.
and grubby blood.
So we have them surrounded. We have our leader is in. Broken. Damage sustained.
There's still holds, but no more. Kazook! Scoff! Drain them!
What's he at? 474.
Die!
Okay, you can see these units. Now, if I take them and start bringing them back, they're going to follow and shoot arrows into the back of them. Okay, so we're taking a risk, moving these units out, but we felt good because their leader is severely damaged. And pretty much we're just pushing him off the battlefield as well.
Karazankor! It is an order!
See if we can speed them up and get into the back of them.
Our hold will be free of grubby filth. Die! All of you
Their enemy lord is now dead.
The
Okay.
clans unite!
So that pretty much would end this scenario for them. This here, you would have to more than likely wait for them to get off the edge of the map. They might throw a few shots in here and there. But essentially, that's how that would work with that setup. Okay, so they're going to get to the edge of the map. Oh, no, they're going to come in and try to mix it up. At least they did. So they tried to fight it out. Now they're off. And this unit will possibly stay and fight until they're out of ammunition. They have a lot of ammo left, so that could be a while for them. So what we'll do is we'll close in. And we'll try to cut them off over here. And there we go. Okay. So, pretty simple. Nothing too advanced. Again, just simple things. Go into your AI, set up stuff so that you see how each unit works. Okay? Take those units, try them out, see how these units match up against the greenskins units. You can see that we were able to hold against everybody up to Orc Boy's spears. Okay, same price, same cost. They're shielded, anti-large. They have decent leadership. We didn't try them against the Orc Boys themselves. They're shielded, but I went with the same price unit. The nasty skulkers, what do they have? Armor piercing, okay, could be a problem. Leadership's very slow, very low, and their melee attack and defense is very low, especially their defense. Okay, so this is a unit that really in my opinion, as armor piercing, and with the weapon strength and charge bonus, I would use them as a flanking or hammer and anvil strike unit. Okay, so let's just do something here. Let's switch to where I'm going to use the green skin setup against my dwarves, but I'm gonna use the green skins. Okay, so we had him as our leader, 3 shielded units, and we had 2 archer units. And then they're gonna get dwarves. We want to take a look, and we want to see. And that was all they had, right? And we're going to take a look and see how maneuvering your units properly can really help situations in your battle. Okay, so I have their construction, they have mine, and we're going to start this battle up. Okay, so first thing, our guys' leadership's pretty strong, charge is good. Okay, so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get them in a tighter formation first to try and push through and hit them pretty hard with the charge. Okay, then we're also going to take these units, move them back here in a tighter formation. Let's get these guys a little closer. Okay, so now we're going to play charge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a unit out here and a unit out here. We're going to try and get into their flank as fast as possible. Okay, so units are engaged. Okay, we're going to get in, try to get in behind them. Okay, right there. And now we're gonna fire on them. Fire on them. So we're gonna try and hit their flanks as fast as we can, as hard as we can. We don't have any specials on these units, faster reload or armor piercing or anything like that. So we're gonna have to work with what we have. Okay. But you'll see they're taking a huge leadership penalty because of the archer fire that they're taking from the flank and rear. Okay, now this will be a little bit of a problem. No, we're actually defeating their leader, so that's going to be beneficial. So you can see they're just taking tremendous. Look at their leadership now. Right? They're not confident because they're taking damage from behind. It's going to drop their leadership. Their leader just died. Okay, now see, we didn't set guard mode. Let's see how they're going to follow them. So, well, we don't want that to happen. And there you go. And there's victory. So you can see we used the same setups, just I controlled the green skins. Now, in this type of battle, we should Oh, no. You know what, guys? I messed up. I messed up. The dwarves, I did not give them the great weapon. So let's redo that. Yep, that was all my fault, chat. We did not use proper setup there because I forgot about their I forgot about their great weapons. All right, so let's move these guys out to the flank. And we're going to spread this line out further. Right about there. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get these great weapons fired on right away. Okay. Now we're going to try and soften them up a little bit. Get another volley. Okay. Now that's going to hold them over there. We're going to move over to this flank. Now we're going to charge in. Charge in. Charge in. Okay. Now this unit here, they're going to get across that flank. So we're going to move back here. Because now they're not going through. So we're going to maybe try to get in the back of these great weapon dwarf warriors. Right here. Because they're going to probably try to come around here and hit us. Nope, they're going to go in, probably go after our lord. So we're going to hit these guys in the back. Look at that. 6. They're down to 94 just on that volley. 92. There we go. So we're just going to keep firing away. We're going to thin this great weapon unit out because they're the damage dealer that we don't want around too long. So we're going to try and take away that damage dealer group if we can, right? Now, it looks like our Lord got hit pretty hard. Okay, so that's not good. Really need this group here to get mowed down. Okay, we're starting to whittle them down. Their Lord's going to come after... Nope. He's coming back this way. Our Lord's back. Re-engaged. We'll send our Lord after theirs. They're down to 40 units. Okay. Our boys are going to disengage here probably. Down to 33 units. Still working. Okay. So our warriors are going to leave, but look at that. Down to 29 units. So now he's going to come out this way on these guys. So we got to maneuver. Okay. Let's get some shots on him while he's running. Archer fire on lords can be very effective. Okay, so you see this unit here is broken. Okay, they're going to converge on our lord. Let's get some shots on them. They are shielded. Okay. So they're going to chase off my lord there. Don't know if they're going to come back or not. This unit here could break pretty quick. One good hit from their lord will probably do it. What I need to do is try and get in the back here. These guys are holding up pretty good. Okay, so they did break. See if we can get into the back of them. And now you can see what the difference is, right? How strong their units are, right? I even have the two, and there you go, right? So even with the maneuverability that we had, that discipline, that defense was huge. And they were still able to win. They did the same as I did, essentially. Okay, so you can see that that worked. They had an extra unit, ranged unit, but they were still able, and I took this guy out fairly quick. Now, to be fair, the Lord aspect of things was a little different, right? I told you, once you're fighting the Lords, if I could do this without the Lords being on the field, that would be awesome, because then at least you're just, you know, units against units. But you can see how there are tiny little things within the battle that can make things change in one direction or the other, for the good or bad. So, you know, that is something that you want to look toward, okay? And again, strong unit, their biggest weakness is if their leadership was up to 70 and their melee defense was 30, this unit would be a lot stronger in comparison to that 40 defense, right? With the 70 leadership. Their melee attack's 22, our melee attack 20. So, yeah, so this unit is severely undermanned. The big thing with the greenskins is numbers. Getting the numbers and getting, if I were able to get 2 more units, let's say, of archers, obviously that would help more. Let's say, what are they? They're 375, so call it like 700 points, right? Yeah, seeing a unit like this might be better because speed, leadership, melee attack, weapon strength is 30. They're anti-infantry, armor piercing, right? Whereas these guys here, no armor piercing. They have poison attack on that unit. And they have melee capability. So there's a couple things you could play with. So again, this is just for folks that want to learn the game, play the game with some, not ease, but where you don't feel as intimidated. Go into the AI custom battle screen, set up different battles, work the faction that you want to work, and you can toggle as the defenders or attackers by clicking this button. If you want to see what it's like for you when you're getting attacked, how to set up a defensive posture, or if you want to be the aggressor, set up as an attacker. If you have a faction like Greenskins, which are an attacking faction. Who else? Norska is an attacking faction. Warriors of Chaos, right? The Vampire Counts. These are units, Tomb Kings. These are units that are typically open to attacking, but you can get attacked yourself. So you want to learn how to set those things up so that you can do both. Okay. So it's our first video. I hope to get better at this and do more. And please leave comments in below to let me know if you would like to see anything. We'll do some fun stuff too, especially with the dwarves. This unit right here, the Iron Drakes, they launch fire. So it's always fun to see in custom battles what that looks like. So, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And, yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again. Have a great day. Be safe. We'll see you again. I'm out.